Anyway, this is part two of the last video I put up, and this is just more or less just finishing up my thought. I did say there was more I could say about it, and there's a lot more, but I think if you listen to what I was saying, you would notice that there is much you can take from the British Israelites and look at how they basically use a lot of the same tactics as the Black Hebrew Israelites in terms of how they go about teaching their theology. Now, I've forgotten so much about I used to follow the Black Hebrew Israelites theology. And when I say follow, I don't mean I was a part of them. I used to follow what they were talking about. I've forgotten so much of it. I had to somewhat read up to get myself back up to speed with them. But if you're a Black Hebrew Israelite and you've never heard of it, and I'm sure a lot of you haven't, so don't try to tell me, oh, I knew about it all along. Because, of course, the heyday for this thing was like about 200 years ago. They're not as prominent. You don't see them on YouTube videos yelling and screaming at people and so forth. There's still a few of them scattered around here and there. So they're not as prominent, so they're not as well known. And again, their height and their peak was like back in the about 200 years ago. But if you haven't, read up on them. Look at what they believe. Follow their logic and see if it's not very similar to yours. And you come to realize that this stuff is not anything new. All these things really boil down to is a yearning for a sense of belonging to something special. We find it in the Bible itself, amongst the Jews. They believed they were God's special snowflakes. Now, initially, all peoples in that ancient world around there believed that they were their God's special snowflakes. The Jews, though, as they gravitated or moved towards monotheism and believed that their God was the only God and the only true God, and that there were no others, they started looking at it like, we're God's special snowflakes. Hey, he chose our father Abraham. Because I guess there was something wrong with him blessing everybody else. He chose our father Abraham to bless all the other nations of the earth. And out of Abraham came Jacob and came our people. And we are the apple of his eyes, according to the book of Hosea. We're special little snowflakes. And yeah, we're going through a rough stretch right now, rough patch. But hey, if we follow him and return to the laws and do what he says to do, we're going to be the shit. And we're going to be the head of all nations. We, Black Hebrew Israelites, and black folks who are Black Hebrew Israelites all around, are going to be restored to the ancient glories of Israel. Again, it's the whole idea of needing to feel a part of something special. And it's quite understandable when you look at black folks who've had their identity stolen, taken away, their humanity questioned. Who may not know what they're attached to or where they come from specifically, and can't do like white folks and say, well, hey, I could trace my family all the way back to the 1400s or 1000 AD. So it's this desire to be a part of something. The British Israelites, a little bit different with them. It's not surprising that the first concept about this stuff that popped up came around the same time that the British Empire began to formulate. And sure enough, you did have people in high places who believed in this stuff. As a matter of fact, King James of the King James Bible believed that he was the king who sat up on Israel's throne, or the throne of Israel. Of course, in the British Isles, that is. And you had other high-profile people who believed this. And I want to say that this belief going around trickled in or influenced the way the British looked at themselves, and perhaps provided incentive or whatever it is, or motivation to go on the great quest they went on. And when you look at the British Empire and how they rose to power, how they managed to overthrow the great power of the day, or surpass them, Spain, defeated their huge Spanish armada out in the English Channel, which was supposed to be a sure defeat for the British. They can look at themselves and felt like they were somewhat special, ordained, someone is looking out for them. Because from that point, England went on to become the greatest empire on the earth. Well, I guess the United States can say something different. And when I say the greatest empire, I'm referring to in terms of landmass. They were all over the place. The Caribbean, the American mainland, the South American mainland, Asia, Africa. So yes, you could see where they could feel a certain sense of arrogance and feel, yeah, man, God is looking down on us. We must be special. We must be connected to him in some special way. And then you look around, these same British conquering left and right and engaging in slavery, doing their thing and looking at themselves like they're special. It would not be surprising at all to find the people that they enslaved, the Africans, to turn around and try to find their own purpose and their own connection to the divine and their own connection to something special. Of course, if that's what makes you happy, that's what keeps you happy, that's what keeps you grounded, that's what keeps you disciplined, that's what gives you something positive to look at, I can't knock you for that. But a lot of times, at the heart of this ethnocentric idea or beliefs is that you have to put somebody else down to make yourself feel special. You have to go and say, see, those people over there are not special like us. And sometimes it could lead to dehumanizing that other group. They're evil. They're blue-eyed devils. They're not humans. They're apes. They're this, they're that. Because when you can make them look that way, then you feel that automatically makes you feel like you're something special. It's not right. And we've seen where these things can lead. Anyway, like I was trying to say in the last video, prior to this one, if you've never heard about the British Israelites and their teachings and so forth, you may want to look it up. If you're a Black Hebrew Israelite, check it out. Compare what you believe to what they believe and see if it's not the same thing, just a different side of the coin. Enjoy your day. Thank you for listening in to the Serial Cynic, and you can subscribe to the channel, and you can also turn around and comment, drop in the comments. Yeah, you can go ahead and call me a coon and the man paying me off and me debunking black folks, and which has nothing to do with any of this, because I'm none of those things. But you can drop it in a comment, and hey, you can tell your friends about it, and you can share the video. You can like it, dislike it, share it. Doesn't matter to me. Share it. Subscribe. Take care.